Caitlin Clark is nearing a lucrative 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike.
Do you recall when Caitlin Clark was signed by Nike, returned in April for an astounding $28 million? It was widely reported in the news, record-breaking transaction for a woman. Everyone thought this athlete, the cooperation was going to be quite successful, particularly in light of Caitlin's amazing talent. I mean, we're discussing a collegiate basketball star Nike is smashing records one after another. Appeared to have struck gold at the appropriate time.
I know the best is yet to come, so congratulations, Caitlin. You are the 2024 Kia WNBA Rookie of...
As we move forward in time, things have taken an odd turn. Caitlin just won the title of WNBA Rookie of the Year, outstanding accomplishment that inspired people to crazy. But the best part is that Nike has been no congratulations, no radio silence. Social media posts don't do anything at all, as if they had forgotten to sign her. Nike's most recent mention. In April, Caitlin returned with some dramatic caption referring to mythology, and initially they shared a photo of her, with the phrase, "The story's conclusion is only the legend's beginning." Very strong stuff indeed, but since then, it has been crickets all around. Now let's put this in silence. Nike isn't particularly well known for hesitant to promote their players. Usually, they are everywhere on social media, promoting each and every accomplishment milestone, but Caitlin makes it seem like they can't see her.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Conversely, Nike's been showing other sportsmen love. Don't get me wrong, AJ Wilson is wonderful and deserving of praise, but with the Rookie of the Year in hand, not making a move on your roster, it's left fans scratching their heads, folks. Heads. And posing some meaningful queries, Nike has been adding fuel to the fire. Pushing Caitlin's former partner, Diana Taurasi-Terzi, is currently a season-long outperformer. Legend in and of herself, without a doubt that. But with this young phenomenon, smashing records and attracting audiences such as you never would have imagined that Nike would be, people are all over that, right? Pondering the circumstances surrounding the scenes. Is there any tension present? I'm not sure if Nike is playing any long-term strategy that is still unknown to us. It's definitely not yours, whatever it is. Typical sponsor of a celebrity athlete. Romance, Adidas takes center stage. Nike has been silent, but someone else is speaking up. But it's not your style. Anticipate that there will be an Adidas ambassador. Praising Clark, and now this is where Adidas, things get pretty interesting. The largest rival of Nike is indirectly they're doing it while stealing the show. In the most surprising manner imaginable, enter tennis legend Billie Jean King, and as a worldwide spokesperson for Adidas, she went to social media to provide Caitlin with an enormous shout-out. We're not merely discussing a no King went all out, but swift congratulations, enumerating all of Caitlin's amazing achievements this season, which she commended Caitlin's leadership and skill influence on the gameplay. It was the type of sincere acknowledgement in detail that fans were anticipating. From Nike, consider that briefly served as an Adidas representative is promoting a Nike sportsman more than going to a Pepsi is similar to Nike itself. Occasion and observing every Coca-Cola logo King's post simply doesn't compute. Wasn't merely a friendly. Congratulations, she called Clark, is a talent that spans generations and emphasized her season of record-breaking. This is more than just lip service. It's a calculated move that has everyone conversing. And you are aware of what fans are enjoying. This surprising action by fans of King have ignited the internet. Our sharing and leaving comments on King's post has sparked conversation. Regarding sportsmanship and acknowledging talent irrespective of brand affiliations. However, it also makes people wonder about probing inquiries concerning loyalty and brand representation in the entirety of the circumstance. Fans are speculating that Caitlin might jump. I mean, can you blame Adidas for shipping? When you're receiving greater affection from your rival of the sponsor as opposed to your own sponsor, it will undoubtedly generate some eyebrows, but in reality, it's not likely. that Caitlyn would take such dramatic measures. These contracts are complicated and cost $28. $1 million is a significant sum, but Nike's unusual quietness is undoubtedly pudding. They are in a difficult situation in terms of PR. Adidas has been given a golden. This is a golden opportunity. The entire scenario is under scrutiny. On the relationship between sponsors and athletes in the social media age, it's not only about signing well-known names these days, it's regarding how you encourage and assist them. Thus, it appears that Adidas is now without really trying. Winning the PR game, the WNBA is struggling, but there's more to come. To this narrative, rather than merely brand drama, let's discuss Caitlyn's first season. Since it has been nothing but renowned, at the time Caitlyn entered the Indiana Fever were having trouble. Team, we're discussing a franchise. They have not participated in the playoffs since 2016. However, Caitlyn made things better in a way that none anticipated.
He's the best player in the country.
How will she go for history? Caitlin Clark is coming.
I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Caitlin Clark, only 22 years old, is changing the picture of women's sports around America.
Let's first discuss attendance. Before the Fever were averaging roughly 3,000 supporters. Every game isn't bad, but not fantastic either. Caitlin Clark, or all of a sudden, they're packing in 15,000. Tonight, folks, we're talking about sold out. People scurrying for tickets at arenas for basketball, it was similar to Beatlemania. And it was more than just seats and bums. Caitlyn started working in merchandising, occurrence where her jersey flew off the shelves more quickly. Then Sunday hotcakes, we're talking record-breaking brunch. Sales figures that make a difference here. Executives in marketing perform a joyful dance, yet the thing is that success frequently comes with a cost, which Caitlyn has been covering. It in spades. Let's dissect a few of the difficulties she has. Encountered in physical play, adversaries soon discovered that if they wished to prevent Caitlyn, they had to get hands-on. We're talking about large screens, difficult defense that is effective. It's the type of often saved for seasoned not rookies but veterans. But Caitlyn took everything in stride, demonstrating her ability to tough as they come, but they're also dubious officiating now, and I don't usually provide criticism. Referees have a difficult job, but even the most casual spectator might see the calls weren't always reaching Caitlyn. Like the officials said, she deserved it. We're expecting her to meet a different benchmark. Frustrating off-court drama. That you bet on, this is where things start to get pretty crazy. In fact, there were charges circulating. Caitlyn was being impolite around that, and do you think this is even racist? Anyone with an interest in Caitlyn's career is aware that these charges are completely unfounded. However, in professional sports, occasionally the truth is subordinated to sensationalism. Despite everything, Caitlyn maintained her composure. And she played well in a recent matchup with the Connecticut Sun in the playoffs. She displayed figures that could make any 29 points, 10 assists, and a proud veteran. We're talking about a triple with 7 rebounds. This is double territory, people. But here's the tragedy: in spite of Caitlyn's heroics, the Fever's defeat was similar to viewing a presentation with just one woman, where the supporting cast failed to remember their lines. Caitlyn gave it her all out there. But since basketball is a team sport, the crew simply couldn't keep up that night. Caitlyn's life was reflected in this game. Brilliant individual for the entire season performances, but frequently falls short of the team's assistance in transforming those performances into triumphs. It's the type of circumstance that can wear down even the most resilient rivals. Prepare for the startling announcement. Prepare yourself for the biggest surprise of Caitlyn. All on September 29th, 2024, dropped a shocking revelation that nobody noticed. She is departing from the WNBA, which is, yes, she has left the league and is traveling to Europe for the upcoming basketball season. Has truly taken up a year of my life. I believe it will be beneficial for me to sort of look back at this image. Journalists at a full press conference on social media on the edge of their seats, rife with conjecture, and there's Caitlyn seemed worn out but resolute, delivering a Shocking truth bomb reverberates throughout the sports industry in her own words. I need to get a reset, away from everything that's going on.
Has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on
The weariness in her voice. You can see that she looked tired, but this wasn't simply no longer about basketball. Instead, this was about a young athlete nearing her limit. To be clear, this isn't merely this is a defeat for the Indiana Fever. Significant setback to the entire WNBA, we're discussing a player who independently rekindled enthusiasm for Caitlin wasn't only a star in the league. She attracted notice as a supernova, and crowds that nobody else considers. The figures from 3,000 spectators each game to 15,000 is not merely growth. It's an explosion, and it was more than simply TV ratings for in-person attendance increased. Every time Caitlin performed, products, sales skyrocketed, but she wasn't. She was only a player and a single woman. WNBA's economic stimulus package. What does her exit signify for the league? But it's not very attractive. Possibly taking a look at a financial. There is a catastrophe here without Caitlin. Actual danger of attendance reverting to TV deals at pre-Clark levels may need to be rearranged, sponsors may begin reconsidering their pledges, but going above, there is a human component to the numbers. The departure of Caitlin is raising some important inquiries on the player WNBA benefits if she is a star caliber feels compelled to depart from what? What does that indicate about the league's potential? To encourage and develop its abilities, it's a loud alarm to wake people up, alerting the WNBA to the necessity of shift, since if they are unable to maintain a talent that spans generations, such as Caitlin Clark content and prospering, then they've got more significant issues than simply losing a great player right when you had this concept. The narrative couldn't get any more juicy. Some inside information that will blow the former president of the Indiana Fever comes to mind. Recently, Allison Barber revealed some meaningful discussion of what was taking place behind closed doors. And allow me to explain. This type of material has the potential to create a first. The reality TV producer drools. Let's discuss team dynamics. In accordance with Barber perceived a significant amount of tension. We are not conversing in the locker room. Regarding your typical spirit of competition here? No, this drama was on a whole new level. Kelsey Mitchell in particular, and Melissa Smith and she are both talented today. Players in their own right, but they weren't precisely singing, it seems. Kumbaya together following such games of internal conflict can be toxic to a team, particularly one that is attempting to center on a rising celebrity such as Caitlin. Imagine attempting to plan the ideal. When two of your keys are in symphony, instruments are out of tune all the time. It's a coach's worst nightmare when they are together. In relation to coaches, here's an additional Christie sides. The head coach of Bombshell seemed to have a firm hold on we're talking about the type of locker room of authority that might cause some, now that solid leadership is in place, dictators blush. One thing. But when it begins to have an impact strategy and player rotations, that's when the Barber's eyebrows begin to rise, suggested that this could help to explain why Smith continued to lose playing time, as the season progressed, it was the type of A choice that leaves admirers baffled their players and heads inquiries, their function within the group.
I think the biggest challenge has just been the fact that we've only had like 24 days together. I think that's presents a big challenge for our team, especially a really young team and an inexperienced team. So a team that's trying to find their chemistry and how they work together, I would say that's probably the biggest challenge for us.
However, here's where, in spite of that, it becomes incredibly engaging. Caitlin, all this drama behind the scenes had a laser-like concentration on team building. This girl's chemistry wasn't about padding her own numbers or stealing the show. No, she wished for the team's success. Collectively, it demonstrates Caitlin's here. Her leadership and character make her a rookie, attempting to act as the binding agent. The group as a whole, with more seasoned coaches and athletes, are shaking things up. It's like to witnessing a freshman attempt to resolve a conflict between older citizens. Nice, but that's a tough one, man. Place to be and wonder what she's strategy did in fact work. In spite of all the inner conflict, Caitlin's selfless play and A focus on team performance were beneficial. The Fever qualify for the playoffs. For the first time since 2016, we're discussing the termination of a 6-year playoff drought in any other circumstance. This certainly warrant a ticker for joy. Tape shows the progress. But this is the Barber claims that the front kicker, the office wasn't always excited about. Can you believe how selfless Caitlyn's play was? Because they have a skill that was generational and was not only putting up amazing figures but also making everyone in the vicinity better, yet they weren't quite in agreement. It's like owning a goose that lays when you board golden eggs and grumbling about the let's chat now since the eggs aren't large enough. Regarding something that truly demonstrates Caitlyn's personal characteristics as a Barber dropped this tiny nugget of information that has. In fact, Caitlyn asked everyone they spoke to, WNBA, if they were able to provide bonus compensation to rival teams due to all the she was drawing a sellout crowd, so let that take a moment to consider this novice. Already considering the larger image, she's not only thinking about herself, personal achievement, or perhaps her group's accomplishment, she's considering the league as a whole. That is the type of forward thinking you often see from seasoned pros, or league executives who are not initially. Sadly, the league had to, because of collective bargaining, say no, regulations. But Caitlyn's even made that request. It says a lot. Regarding her honesty and her knowledge of the commercial aspects of sports, we're more than just athletes. Discussing this is a wise move. An entrepreneur who recognizes that, all boats in the business are lifted by the increasing tide. Cleverness behind the skill. Let's take a bit more about what makes Caitlin Clark as more than simply an incredible basketball player. Barber claims that Caitlin entered the WNBA has some important business, shrewd, because of her NIL name image. College-related likeness deals for those who could be unaware that NIL agreements are permitted collegiate athletes to make money off of their name, likeness, and picture while yet in school is a very recent development in collegiate athletics. And Caitlin was among the first to truly profit from it. By when Caitlin joined the WNBA, she wasn't merely considering crossover dribbles and three-point shooting. She had a group of advisors verifying every facet of her career was right on the money, marketing specialists and financial advisors. The work that this girl brought with her is a striking difference from the way things used to be. Previously, rookies would frequently arrive into the league with an exclusive focus on their game, letting agencies handle the business aspect, and team representatives, but Caitlin is actively involved in all facets of her profession. This degree of commercial acumen is evolving. The athletes of today's game, particularly someone such as Caitlin, isn't only rivals to their business owners, social media, and brand managers. All of the influences combined into one, Caitlin was in the lead from the start. Realizing that her influence could go well beyond the basketball floor. What comes next?
Last night finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing up in quite some time. She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention.
The absence of media attention, the necessity for improved advertising and marketing for Caitlin's success demonstrated to us what may happen when the focus is on female athletes. But her departure, which demonstrates to us how much consider the job we still need to perform. What additional sport would the Rookie of the Year, a phenomenon that broke records, feel the want to go somewhere better? Opportunities, it serves as a reminder that only the WNBA alone, but for all women's American athletics. But here's the thing, every obstacle presents an opportunity. Caitlin's action might serve as the impetus for genuine, significant change. Perhaps this is what league sponsors must do and media to take notice and pay attention. Should understand that funding women's playing sports isn't always the moral thing to do. Looking ahead, it's good business as let's conclude this crazy tale and consider regarding what the future may bring. Will Caitlin benefit from her experience in Europe? Develop both personally and as a player, will she return to the WNBA more powerful than before? Can the WNBA utilize this as a chance to address long-standing problems and return more resilient? Or will they have difficulty filling the Caitlin-sized gap for Nike in their league? Would they break their quiet at last? And if they, how are they going to explain their perplexing strategy for advertising? One of the biggest names in women's sports, may. This could be a pivotal time that results in increased coverage, better compensation, and greater chances. For female athletes throughout all, one thing about sports is that we'll be keeping a careful eye on everything, because what occurs next will have repercussions. Impacts that go well beyond a single individual or one league. Therefore, how would you describe yourself? Eager to witness Caitlyn's dominance in Do you think the WNBA will make it to Europe? Modifications and your opinion about Nike's strange silence. Please share your opinions. The remarks below, and if you'd like, to keep abreast of the most recent developments in the realm of sports, remember to hit that subscribe button and activate reminders that sports aren't only regarding events that take place on the pitch or court. It's about the drama, the stories, and the corporate choices and the culture impact, and there isn't a greater compared to Caitlin Clark's gratitude for stay tuned, and we'll see you in the upcoming. Hey people, keep your eyes on the ball, because there is still more to this story.